Hi everybody. This video is about dealing with quadratic word problems. Now, these particular problems happen to be written in factored form. The same ideas will work no matter how the quadratic is written. So here we have a stone being thrown off of a bridge into a river. And the stone's height, measured in meters above the water, x seconds after it was thrown, is modeled by this particular function. And we want to know how many seconds after being thrown will the stone reach its maximum height. So this is actually a very, very simple problem as soon as you understand what you are being asked to find. So let me explain it as simply as I can. So if we put ourselves in this situation, I'm going to draw an XY axis. Let's see, we're on a bridge and we're throwing a rock. So maybe it did something like this. The rock went up, it went back down, and then it hit the water. Well, you can see if you think about what a parabola looks like that all this question is really saying is find the vertex. That's it. If a parabola points down, and this one does because look at the number we're starting with, -5, and then we're going to have x times x is x squared, so it would be starting with -5x squared, so this parabola definitely points down. That means the vertex is going to be the highest point. Well, that's a maximum. So the first thing that you want to do in these silly little word problems is just to ask yourself, what am I trying to find? Now, in some problems, you're going to want to find the y-intercept. In some problems, you're going to need to find the x-intercept. So don't watch this video and come away thinking, well, all I got to do is find the vertex. Well, no, you got to read the question and see what you're being asked. Now, we do need to find the vertex in this problem, so let's do that. I made a prior video on working with factored form, so you may want to go watch that first. So the logic here is, since we have factored form, the x-intercepts are very easy to see. We take this factor, set it equal to 0, so you're going to have an x-intercept at 8. And then you're going to have an x-intercept at -4. Now, that kind of doesn't make sense in this context. That x-intercept would be over here before we started this process. So we have to go back in time to see this x-intercept. Anyway, so we have the x-intercepts. Now the vertex is halfway between the x-intercepts, and that's what I went over in that prior video. So for the vertex, the x value is going to be 8 minus 4 over 2. 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So what that means is the vertex happens when x equals 2. Now, in this problem, x is in seconds. Okay, the x-axis is in seconds, and that's not what we. Oh no, it is what we want. How many seconds after being thrown will the stone reach its maximum height? I guess I should really finish reading my problems before I do them. So 2 seconds would be the answer to this question. But before we move on, let's just think about other things we could answer. Let's say this question, and I'm pretty sure Khan Academy does this, change to what is the maximum height that the stone will reach? Well, if we needed the maximum height, well, what that means is you would want the y value of the vertex. And to get the y value, you plug in the x value, so you plug in x equals 2 to your function. So they named this function w for some reason. Water, maybe? Anyway, so we plug in x equals 2. So it'd be -5 times 2 minus 8 times 2 plus 4. So that's -5 times -6 times 6. So our answer would be positive in the end. 5 times 6 is 30, and then 30 times 6 again is 180. Okay, so that's in meters. I don't think most people are going to be able to throw a stone 180 meters into the air. That's pretty high. But anyway, that would be the answer to the question. Let's see, what else could we ask? a question that would have you find the y-intercept might say something like this. How high is the bridge off of the ground? Well, that seems kind of awkward, but you can answer it really quickly. That's the y-intercept of the graph. If we're starting at the bridge, at whatever the height of the bridge is, well, that's the starting place of the stone. So we can easily rephrase this question to ask us to find the y-intercept. And to find the y-intercept, this is the same no matter what function you ever encounter. You plug in x equals 0. Because if you're on the y-axis, well, your x value is 0. So we would have -5 times 0 minus 8 times 0 plus 4. So that's -5 times -8 times 4. So let's see, 5 times 8 is 40, and then 40 times 4 is 160. So I guess what I said about throwing the stone wasn't true. It went to a height of 180 meters, but we were starting on this 160 meter bridge, which is a pretty tall bridge. So I guess it's not quite so unrealistic as I portrayed. Let's see. One other question you could ask is, well, when does the stone hit the water? Well, that's just asking you to find an x-intercept. And we've already found those. The x-intercept is 8. So it would be 8 seconds. That seems like a long time to fall, but it is a tall bridge. But anyway, Khan Academy doesn't have to make sense in the real world. You can study the physics of all of this and make all of the equations accurate, but then the numbers are very awkward to work with. So anyway, that's how you deal with most quadratic word problems. Just be sure that you read the questions carefully. Sometimes you will want the vertex, like in this problem, we wanted the x-coordinate of the vertex. You might need the y-coordinate of the vertex. You might need the y-intercept, you might need the x-intercepts. It all depends on what you're being asked. Now, I guess I should click to see if I got the question right. And I did. So, hope this video helped.